rolling up my sleeves here. Which tricks do I have up here today? Not many, probably. Feeling pretty crap. Hi, YouTube. Oh. Brum. Okay. Hi. Hello, YouTube. Okay. Today is Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026. I know I've said this before a few times, and usually it doesn't actually turn out this way, but I think today maybe it will. I think this is gonna be a quick video today. I did almost 3 hours of streaming yesterday, and yeah, that was it was what it was. Okay. No, so the reason I did, so yes, I did almost 3 hours. It was like 2 hours and 50 minutes, I think, of content that I did yesterday on here. So just 10 minutes shy of 3 hours, I'm pretty sure, or something like that. And it was between 3 videos that I did yesterday. So I did 3 videos yesterday because a lot of my live streams mess up, and so after I did the first one, I had to sign into the club anyways. And I'm back at the club right now, by the way. Today, like for right now, I've already signed in. So for this stream, I at least don't have to worry about that one thing for today, which is nice. So yeah, yesterday I ended my first video, I think just an hour, because I had to go sign into the club. And also I didn't want it to be too long because, again, my live streams mess up a lot of times. Then I came back out to my car here after I had signed in from after I did my first video yesterday. Second video cuts short, messes up after just over 10 minutes. So that was a bummer. The third video that I did was, I think, just under 2 hours, and I was really like kind of holding my breath and crossing my fingers about that one, because after I ended that stream for that video, I really wanted that one to post okay, because I felt like I was gonna like that one. And thank gosh, it was such a relief to me when it looks like I have actually gone back and watched that video like back. So it looks like it posted okay, and I'm super happy about that. However, I am a little concerned because I was saying in those videos I did yesterday how, I mean, my videos mess up a lot, but I've noticed a pattern lately where they especially seem to mess up on Tuesdays. And I didn't do a video last Tuesday before this one, but the 2 weeks prior, those 2 Tuesdays in a row, I'm pretty sure the videos those days had messed up. And the Tuesday 2 weeks ago, that was a Tuesday where I like had yet another difficult shift. I mean, a lot of my shifts are difficult. Yes, I talk about that all the time. But that particular shift, I like twisted my ankle and hurt my wrist as well. But also for my YouTube videos that I did that day, I was wanting to go back before I started this video to double check and see, but so I haven't had a chance to do that yet because honestly I just forgot because I was in a rush to come on today, like right now. But off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure I did 3 videos that Tuesday. So not yesterday and not the week prior, but the week before that. So basically, I'm pretty sure that was 2 weeks ago from yesterday. And then I also ended up doing 3 videos for yesterday's Tuesday. So that is very suspicious to me. Also because it was another similarity in the pattern that I noticed where the second video that I did 2 weeks ago for that one also cut short right around the same time that my second video cut short yesterday. That was the video that I did. So it ended up just being like a silly little like 10-15 minute video, I think. Off the top of my head, I think maybe it was like 14 minutes, or let's just say somewhere between around like 10 and 15 minutes, I'm pretty sure. That's very short for me, especially for my videos. That video was the one where I was just talking about like how I had found the cap to one of my pens. And when I twisted my ankle, I think it was that Tuesday or the Tuesday before that, the time that I was just referring to when I twisted my ankle, it was because I tripped over a pen, that same style of pen that didn't have a cap on it. I don't know. The way that I did 3 videos yesterday, and the reason being mostly because my second video messed up so shortly after I started it, that's such a similar thing, a similar pattern to that other Tuesday 2 weeks ago, where I'm pretty sure that same thing happened. My second video ended on its own, like ended just because it messed up. I didn't stop it myself. It cut off and like messed up right around that same timestamp as the one yesterday for my second video. So I'm pretty sure that day also ended up being 3 videos on that too. So I don't think these are just coincidences. Like, you know, come on, like I'm definitely being messed with by somebody that's, is this like a YouTube executive doing this, or is this like someone or something else? Well, if it is someone, like a human, here's some attention for you. I'm shouting you out, Mr. or Mrs., I guess, Miss, Anonymous. Do whatever you want for this video, by the way, because this video I don't care about, so we can just have fun with this one. Like, I'm just messing around today. Like I said, I really don't have a lot to say today. After all the blabbing that I was doing yesterday, like, I'm really just, I guess I will just probably start trying to space my videos out more because I'm just tired of it. Like, I don't want to let them win, and I'm not going to. I'm going to keep doing the best I can to like just, yeah, like I'm still going to try obviously, but I'm just not going to try as often, or maybe just slightly less often. I don't know. I don't really know, but I've also been, like, for a while now, I've been trying to practice, like, with trying to have shorter videos. And when I did my 3rd video yesterday, my round 3, I started that video off being like, yeah, this one I'm going to try to keep on the shorter side. That one was just under 2 hours. So thank gosh that one posted okay, or it looks like it does. It posted okay, apparently enough to where I was able to watch it back myself later last night. So with that being the case, I want to think, again, it looked on my end like it posted okay. So I don't know. But hopefully it really actually did. all very bizarre and very confusing and very stressful to me. So yeah, I just like, you know, YouTube, me doing videos on here, it's one of those things where in theory, I don't want to take it too seriously. Like I try most things in life, I try not to take too seriously because that's just no fun and it's a drag to me and like I just don't like being like that. However, like I would consider myself to be a pretty hard worker with things that like I don't know, that I care about or that matter to me. Mm, I am like I can be a pretty hard worker and like really like passionate about the stuff that I do. And my YouTube definitely means a lot to me. Like I have a lot of right now it looks like I have a lot of content that I've done so far and like pretty long videos usually that I've like, you know, dedicated a lot of time and energy and effort towards. So anyways, I guess enough about that for right now. Again, I mean, I'm trying to keep this video just kind of short and just like whatever today because yesterday took a lot out of me with all of that. Yeah, today is a very cloudy, gray, very cloudy gray day. But at least it's not raining or snowing. Yeah. And it's not too cold right now. It was very cold last night, and I think it's supposed to be like pretty much either below freezing or just about like at that freezing temperature tonight as well, and tomorrow. And like just lately it's been back to being very cold, but at least right again, at least right now, like it's not too bad. It's like in the 40s for temperature. So I'm in my car, obviously I'm in my car right now, but like my car is off. So yeah, obviously like there's no heat on in here right now. The car is off. I've already signed into the club and temperature wise, I feel okay right now. So that's nice. I mean, that's more than nice. That's amazing actually. However, back at the apartment that I stay at, it's been back to being pretty painful, unfortunately, which is kind of, it's a weird feeling because up until the past few days, what was it? So I took some days off last week. So last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I am PMSing. I'm gonna get my period, or I should be getting my period like either today or tomorrow or very shortly. So I feel okay right now, and part of the reason I suspect I might be feeling a little better is because I had one of these drinks a few days ago. I had this drink, well I did a review for it here at the club on Monday night. That was a different flavor. That was the watermelon punch flavor. This one is the pineapple passion fruit flavor, which yes, I know it will read backwards, like the label on here, but I don't know how to switch that, or that's just how my camera is on my phone, which I actually like because I prefer like myself to be that way as far as like, because it's like I'm looking in the mirror basically, which is what I'm used to seeing. Anyways, yeah, I haven't tried this flavor. This is the only other flavor of this type of drink that I saw at the store, and one that I did on, or the one that I tried and that I did a video for a couple days ago on Monday, that one was actually pretty good. Or I mean, since then I feel a lot better than I had been feeling before that. So before that, like a few days prior to Monday, last Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Oh, just real quick, by the way, it's 4:30 on the dot right now. Ding, ding, 4:30, ding. Mental note. And I started this at 4:18. Okay. Last Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There's a plane. I forgot what I was gonna say. No, let me think real hard. I didn't go out. I stayed in. Last Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Oh, yeah. Right. The apartment that I stay at, this was the first time that I had been able to do this since way before winter started. So here where I am, yeah, this is the month of April. We're towards the end of April now, like getting towards the end of April. Lately, it's been back to being below freezing at night. So with that being the case, I would say that here where I am, we still get winter weather into April, so winter here is like 7 months long, because the cold weather and sometimes even the snow and like the actual winter weather can start as early as October. Even if the snow and the winter weather doesn't start as early as October, which sometimes it does, but even if it doesn't, it still gets pretty cold regardless either way in October. So October, November, December, January, February, March, April. That's 7 months. So yeah, winters here are way too long. Just awful. I mean, any amount of winter is too long, but 7 months, more than half of the year, that's just ridiculous, you know? So probably being at the apartment that I'm at, I don't have the heat on. This winter that we just had was my 4th winter without putting the heat on, just because it's too expensive for me and a whole bunch of other reasons, but I won't get into that right now. I've said it plenty of times before in other videos. Don't feel like saying it again right now, but with that being the case, I really bundle up there because it gets really freezing cold in there, obviously, without the heat on. So this last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, though, it was really warming up to the point where I was able to take off like many of the layers that I was wearing. So like I took off the hoodie. I took off like 2 or 3 layers on top, basically. So I took off a hoodie. I think I was wearing like, I don't know. All I know is I got down to like, I wear so many layers that I can't even like remember like which ones, like how many there are like bundled in there, because I feel like they just like there's so many layers going on that they like get lost underneath each other. I know that I took my hoodie off, but I feel like there was another hoodie. There's a hoodie and then there's a long sleeve shirt. I took both of those off and I was wearing just my tank top underneath. So I was wearing after I took those off, I was obviously wearing just a tank top. So I was wearing the tank top, and then I took my pants off too. I was, up until that point, pretty much since last October, like when it tends to get cold, I had been wearing like 3 pairs of pants all together. And this past Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I had like at first I just took the hoodie off, and then like the next day or like shortly after, I took the pants off too, to where I was like, damn, like I couldn't believe it. Like, and temperature wise, I wasn't really cold, obviously, because if I was cold, I wouldn't have taken like those layers off. But I was feeling just, it felt perfect. It felt, because I don't even like summer. I'm the kind of person where, so here where I am, it gets way too hot as well, like for summer. But I remember last year we got our first 90-degree weather for the year last year, 2025, towards the end of May. So like, just like to compare, like now is, for this year now, 2026, it's towards the end of April and we're still getting below freezing weather at night lately. But yeah, like that's just a month difference. I don't remember if it was still into freezing weather last April, but I'm assuming it probably very well could have if it is now. But yeah, last year, towards the end of the month of May, we had 90-degree weather for a few days there. So yeah, that's way too hot for me. And then July and August are, for the past few years, have been into the 90s a lot, which is way too hot for me. Yeah, so. But this past Thursday, so now it's again back to being like below freezing at night. So now, like, those layers that I took off last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they have come right back on. And it's back to being painfully cold in the apartment that I'm at. Like, you know, to the point of like actual real crippling, like really just serious, debilitating, horrific pain. Like it's painful. You know, like at least with the heat, unless you're like burned by it, you know what I mean? But like if you're just like in the heat, for the most part, I don't like the heat. Like I still hate the heat too. Like it's still like oppressive to me and gross and just like, ugh. But I've never like thought to myself being too hot, like, oh, that's actually painful. Again, unless it's heat to where you're like getting burned, like by a curling iron or like on the stove or like a hot surface on your skin. If you're getting burned, like it hurts obviously, but just like being in a room or being outside when it's too hot, I've never thought to myself, oh my gosh, this hurts to where it's like painful, or it doesn't hurt to me. It's just very uncomfortable. Whereas being too cold for me, it is beyond painful. It is excruciating. Like it actually really, really, really hurts. It's just so painful. And I despise it with everything that I am, everything that I ever have been, could be, will be, might be, have thought, felt every part of myself, every fiber, everything. Just there's no part of me that doesn't despise winter with everything that I have, and just despise being too cold with everything that I have. Like it's just one of the worst things I've could ever imagine, have ever experienced. Like I just can't believe how awful it is. Anyways, so yeah, it's just so weird to me, the difference too though, where like I felt temperature wise in the apartment that I'm at, it felt perfect to me last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like perfect. Because again, it can get too hot very quickly once the warm weather does start here. And similar to how I don't put the heat on in the winter, I also don't use AC in the summer or when it does get hot, because again, it's just too expensive for me. No, I'm just not, no. So I just suffer it out as best I can handle, like, you know, I just deal with it as best I can. But you know, so I'm not looking forward to summer. I've actually, all I can think about now, like I was with last week with it getting warmer, I was so just like thrilled and content. But there was also this feeling of just like fear and dread of like, I just wanted to like stop time. Like I don't want to go any further. Like I don't want to go into May basically. I don't want to go into June or July or August, especially because I know July and August especially are like way too hot for me. And then the more we get into the year, the closer the next round of winter is. And I just despise winter that much and just fear and dread it so much that that's all I can think of. Like that's all I can think about really. Like it's this next winter coming up, I'm gonna have to apply for heating assistance. I'm really scared to do that because I don't know how, with the type of job that I have, being a stripper. I talk also a lot on my channel about how I don't do well as a stripper, like barely make money. So it's a really weird situation for me to try to like figure out like how to like, but anyways, I'm gonna just suck it up and do it. I'm to the point now, after 4 years of not having the heat on in the winter, I'm gonna fight for it. Like I'm gonna do whatever it takes at this point because I can't do it again. There's no way. And I don't know how I've done it up until now. When I go to the building that I would have to go to apply for heating assistance, I will scream and cry like a little child if I have to. I will throw a temper tantrum. I will scream at the clerks about how I don't have eyebrows. Like I'm not gonna, for anyone that doesn't already know from previous videos, these are not real eyebrows. I draw them on. I don't actually have eyebrows anymore, and I don't have eyelashes, in case you can't see. So the reason I don't have eyelashes, it's not because I pluck them out like a crazy person. Like, can you imagine that? I can't, and I shudder to even like try to imagine somebody doing that. Like, ouch. My eyelashes, I used to have eyelashes. It's not like I was born this way. I used to have really nice eyelashes, actually, I would like to think. And I do have pictures to prove it, which I've been meaning to post someday. Hopefully I'll get around to that someday. But anyways, I haven't had eyelashes or eyebrows for like at least a couple years now. Probably like 2023 into now. So like, yeah, a few years, I'm pretty sure. I'm also bald. So I'm going to like go up, I'm gonna get my face as close to the clerk's face as I can and be like, I don't have eyelashes because of not having heat in the apartment that I'm at. I will rip, I'm also bald. I don't know if I just said that, but I'm gonna rip my wigs off of my head so that they can see my bald bare head. I'm gonna do this in front of everyone that's in, because I remember I did try to like get some assistance, I don't know, maybe a couple years ago. It's been a while. I just remember I went to the place. I've only been there one time. There were so many people in the waiting area, like the lobby or whatever. I mean, there were probably at least 30, 40 people there. And like right when I got there, so I was like the what 40 something in line, some 40 something in line, and I'm not exactly the most patient person. I couldn't have even if I had wait, I didn't stay there, I didn't wait that day, but even if I had, they probably would have closed before I would have been like my turn in line basically. So that just, and after that day, I just kind of I haven't been back since. That was a couple years ago. But I don't care how many, when I go there next time, the thing is, like, I'm not gonna even, I won't even wait until it's gonna, like, I know that I need to start this process, like, as soon as possible. Like, I'm gonna start trying to apply for heating assistance, basically, like, now, as soon as possible. Like, I'm not gonna wait for next winter, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna wait for it to get cold, because where I am, the next winter is always just right around the corner. It's never far away ever. It's always just coming back around. It never ends, really. If it does, if one round of it ends, it's so brief, it hardly even counts. Like, I barely even register it, other than the fact that I'm too sweltering hot for 2 months, two months that fly by. And then it's like, that's basically it. It's ridiculous. So it's, I really dread, I'm definitely dreading going there to try to apply for, but I'm gonna do whatever it takes. Like, I'm gonna start this process now in the spring, or like well before the next round of winter starts, because I can't do it ever again. Like, I don't care how many people are in that lobby area, I'm gonna rip my wigs right off of my head and start screaming, like, I need help. Like, nobody, I highly doubt anybody else that would be in the lobby area would be able to do the same thing. They'll probably all have hair on their heads, you know what I mean? And probably be married and have like people, like, they're not gonna be just like a single, like, suffering lone straggler like me, like bald headed. Like, it's hard enough not having heat on in the winter, but when you're bald and you have no like warmth coming from eyelashes or eyebrows or like hair on your body, they say that you lose the most body heat through your head. So, and I don't wear wigs at the apartment that I'm at. I wear, like, you know, my hoodie, and I wear hats, like usually multiple hats. Oh, that's another thing too. I I had been wearing like not two. I wear 2 pairs of gloves. They're in my locker now because I already put them in the club, but um like, I'm back to wearing my gloves basically these past few days, with it being back to being so cold. And then at the apartment that I stay at, I wear gloves. But at the apartment, well, both ways. So at the apartment that I stay at, and also just like out and about, I have no longer, up until the past few days, I was no longer having to wear my gloves, which was amazing. But, and at the apartment that so with me being out and about, that's more recent. Whereas back at the apartment that I've been staying at, I was still wearing the hoodies and the 3 pairs of pants and the 3 pairs of socks and yada yada, but I was no longer having to wear like the multiple of leg warmers or the gloves. I was no longer wearing my gloves there. Up until just the past few days. So just the past few days, or nights, just when I say past few days, what I really mean is past few nights mostly. The past few nights in particular, it's gone back down below freezing. So now I'm back to wearing my gloves both ways, like in the apartment, and then when I am out and about, I would wear 2 pairs of gloves. So the gloves are back, all the layers are back. But I refuse. There's no possible way that I'm gonna go for a 5th round of winter next year, or not even next year. It'll be later this same calendar year, the same year of 2026. There's no possible way. I'll do whatever it takes. Like, I'm gonna fight for it this time. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, like, there's just no way. even now, just these past few days and nights, it's been, the thermostat says in the apartment says that it's back to like 60, but it's back to feeling unbearable to me, to where, again, I'm putting my gloves back on. I hadn't, up until these past few days, I hadn't been wearing the gloves for like multiple weeks, maybe possibly even the last month or so. But just thinking of it that way, and then thinking how for most of this past winter and last winter as well, the heat was, the thermostat said that it was 50, so 10 degrees colder than it is now. And that's just, there's no words for that. Like, you can't, there's, it doesn't matter what I try to say about it. Words can't do it justice. There's nothing you can say in that, with that. It's just, the pain is just beyond anything I could ever. So yeah, I'm gonna do something about that this year. If I have to move far way, then this will be the year that I do it, basically. Gas prices be damned. There's no way that I can do that again, like ever again. There's just no way. And maybe I'll even film it. Maybe I'll even do a YouTube live with you guys, like in the lobby of that place. If they're trying to deny me heat assistance, I'll have them live on camera. I'll be like, you're on the news right now. Are you really good? I'm gonna whip off my wig. I'll show myself on camera, whipping off my wig. You guys will finally get to see my bald head. So I'll be on camera, bald-headed, live on camera, with whoever happens to be in the lobby area. So in that case, the more people there for me to wait in line with, the better, because the more witnesses I'll have. And then I'll reverse the camera back to them, and they'll be live, and I'll be like, are you really gonna deny this bald, single-headed woman, this single bald-headed woman? There's another plane. Okay, enough of that. That's my plan as of now. I'm gonna take action. I'm not just gonna keep complaining about it, although obviously I am. Oh, that brings me to my next note. Okay, so in my video, okay, yes, I did 3 videos yesterday. In one of those videos that I did yesterday, I think it was the third, I'm pretty sure it was the 3rd video, so round 3 of my videos yesterday. I was mentioning how I wouldn't say necessarily ever since I can remember, but for a very long time now, probably at least since I've been a teenager, like a young teen, or even before that, like middle school, I've loved to write. I've loved poetry. I've loved writing. But especially as I get older, it becomes more and more of a love-hate relationship, because as I get older, I have less time and less energy to put towards that. Basically all that I really have time or energy to do, I feel like, is just work, So on other things, like I would consider my writing to be my work, absolutely, but I just don't feel like I have the time or the energy to work on that particular thing, so but there is a big part of me that is really bothered by that, and really wants to try harder to be more disciplined when it comes to that. So, but I will say a big part of that is absolutely because back at the apartment that I'm at, I really don't feel able to afford to have the heat on. So, with that being the case, I don't feel able, I do have a desk there, but I just don't feel able to, it's so cold in there for like, what, 6-7 months out of the year, that I just don't feel able to sit at a desk. When I'm there, all I want to do is be under the covers, you know what I mean? Like, I have to be under as many covers as possible. Like, a lot of times with the covers pulled up over my head, like, it's that cold in there. So I can't really do anything in there other than sleep, if that makes sense. And eat, obviously, and shower. But, like, for me to try to sit at a desk, not being under the covers, it's just too cold. So, but the rest of the month, it's like, okay, well, the rest of the month, it's, better weather, like spring and summer. So I don't want to just be holed up doing that. I want to be out enjoying the weather, which even then, it's like, I'm not really doing that. I'm here at the club, like in the dark strip club. So, but at least I get a little bit of the sunlight, like, you know, on sunny days, like when I'm driving to the club, like when I'm driving here, like, you know, or on my days off from the club when I'm like out running errands or going to the gym, you know, like I don't love driving by a long shot, but at least, you know, I can see some nice scenery if it's a nice sunny day and just, you know, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, I really am not, I really struggle with trying to find the discipline to work on my writing for many, many reasons. But I was saying, in particular, I was mentioning how in my video yesterday, I was mentioning how, you know, I struggle with how to feel about that. Obviously, it does bother me, but I also try to not beat myself up about it too much because I can't help but to think that, you know, to me, technically, writing is something that can be done at almost any age, especially like into your older years. Whereas, you know, being a dancer and being young and physically active, like, I guess, you know, you can still be physically active to a point, depending on your health status, like as you get older and like to become like a senior citizen. But, you know, that will vary for a lot of people. And I don't know, like in life, you just never know. You know what I mean? You never know what could happen, especially health-wise. And so I don't see myself, obviously, I don't see myself able to be a stripper if I were to live to be a senior citizen. Like, you know, I've never seen a senior citizen stripper. I've seen older strippers. There's a dancer, maybe like I would say more than just one dancer here at the club that I think they're in their 60s. So technically, I don't know, what's the actual official age to be considered a senior citizen? Isn't it like 65 or something? So for all I know, actually, thinking about it more, holy crap, maybe, wow, that's weird to think about. The reason I know this is because one of the female managers here one time, not that long ago, she was going through some of the paperwork, like some of the old files, where each dancer here like has their own file, which is like weird, obviously, but like we have our like personal paperwork, and she, like there were a few dancers out back in the kitchen with her while she was doing this pretty recently, like a few months ago, I guess, but basically I saw a lot of the other dancers' paperwork, which yeah, hopefully none of them saw mine. I didn't see mine in the pile, like in the stack, but anyway, I saw one of them whose paperwork I saw was a dancer that had been very rude, very mean to me in the past. She, not recently, because I really don't see her recently. I haven't seen her for a while, but a few years ago, especially when I had first started dancing or shortly into that process, like many years back from now, basically, she would just be really rude to me, and she called me trashy. She would just, guys, if you could see like her though, like she just has this look and vibe and just this vibe to her where she's very stuck up, honestly. Like she, I don't know how else to put it. Like I wish we could put a camera on her right now. Like, where is she? Because it's like straight out of a movie to me. Like, she's just this exact stereotype where, like, head to toe, the way that she looks, the way that she walks, talks, presents herself, complete, just bitch. And it's not for me. I'm not trying to sound like a hater because, especially for her age, like, even regardless, she looks pretty fab. Like, she looks really good, to me. Like, she just, you know, she's pretty glamorous, actually. And I like her style. Like, to me, she looks very classy and kind of like rich, but, you know, it's one thing to look classy, it's another thing to act classy. And I don't think that calling another woman, another dancer, trashy, I don't think that's showing class. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to say that I'm not trashy. I definitely try not to be, but I mean, look at my car, like, look at me, like, I'm not rich, I'm not, like, fancy or glamorous, like, maybe I am a little trashy, like as far as how I look and present myself. But as far as personality, okay, so maybe my personality is a little trashy too. But as far as how I treat people, I feel like I'm a pretty nice person. And at least I'm not trashy in the sense like of how I treat people, or I try not to be. Like I would never call somebody else trashy like that, or especially to their face, like, or even, I don't know, just anyways, whatever. It's whatever. That was years ago, but she looks great though. I mean, last time I saw her, all the times that I saw her, she looks great. So that's something. But anyways, okay, so what was I saying? I for myself, I don't think that I can barely be a stripper now. Like I've always been a terrible stripper. This is a terrible thing for me to be trying to do. I've known that since the day that I started, and unfortunately, I'm old enough to know better, but too stupid to stop. I don't know how to put that, but I'm still doing it because I love to dance. I don't love to be a stripper necessarily per se, but I love to dance. I love being on stage. I love dancing. Um, and the way that I dance on stage, a lot of times I'm like, is this even really stripping? But then I also think, well, a lot of the moves that I do, they don't feel very strippery to me or very sexy to me, but a lot of them I also wouldn't be able to do without the type of heels that I'm wearing, which they're not regular heels, they're specifically platform stripper shoes. And again, a lot of the way that I dance, I couldn't dance that way without those shoes. So even if the rest of the dancing style doesn't feel very strippery or very sexy to me, again, I couldn't do it without the shoes, without the stripper shoes. So in that way, I'm like, well, maybe, I don't know. Anyways, there's just a lot of stuff, like just being active and like kind of like living my life out loud. I feel like I can only do that, for a certain like limited amount of time. And whereas with writing, yeah, I kind of want to, I guess there's a part of me that can't help but want to save that for like if I were to live to be a much older age, like to basically be a senior citizen. Because if I were to live to be a much older age, I would still want to try to be active. Like I would still want to do what I can, as far as physically and otherwise as well. But like, yeah, I would still try to be active, but I don't think that I would still be a stripper, especially since, yeah, I can barely even handle stripping now and never really have been very good with the stripping thing. Yeah, like writing, you can do that from a bed, basically. Like I could do that from my deathbed, couldn't I? If I were to be on one ever at some point in the future. So, but then there was a way that I put that in my video yesterday. And the way that I put it, what did I say? I have it in my notes. These notes are in a vegetable wrapper. Spinach. I was saying how if I were to live to be an old age, like a senior citizen, because I've worked with old people in the past, not that long ago. I used to be a caregiver, and I was saying how, like, if I were to be an old person, I would feel like, okay, now is finally the time. I can finally just work on my writing and just allow myself to do that, give myself the permission to just sit down, relax, and just write and write and write and write. I feel like I would have so much writing that I would want to do as an older person. Whereas I just don't feel like now is the time for me to really do that. Just still being like, well, I'm not a spring chicken by any means, but I'm definitely not a senior citizen yet either. Although sometimes I do feel like one, but anyways, I'm not actually one, like on paper, like chronologically yet. So, yeah, but so the way that I put this in my video yesterday, because when I was a caregiver, I would oftentimes find myself kind of perplexed about how none of the clients, none of the older people that I had ever worked with had ever seemed to want to do anything like that. Like I just remember thinking like, gee, if I were them, I would want to be writing right now. Like, I would want to be like writing volumes and volumes and volumes of stuff. Whereas with them, they never, I never saw that. I just never saw it. And I guess I could have asked them, I could have mentioned it, but I didn't know how to try to phrase it in a way that wouldn't come across as rude. Like, because not everybody likes to write, you know what I mean? Like, not everybody has stuff that they would want to write about, or just not everybody would like or want to do that. So I just never really knew how to try to phrase that to them in a way that maybe would sound polite enough, or I don't know. But it did always just feel kind of weird to me, because I would just be thinking like, damn, like if I were your age, if I were in your shoes, that's all I would want to do pretty much. Whereas with them, it's like most of the people that I was with, it seemed like they either wanted to just sleep, or if they were awake, they would kind of just want to like sit and complain or whatever. Like, I don't know. And I was saying in my video, one of my videos, I was saying in the third video that I did yesterday, how I never want to be one of those old people that just, has nothing, just doesn't really do much besides sleep or else sit up and complain. And then, so that's what I said in the third video yesterday. But then well after the fact, later on last night, I was thinking back to that and I was like, wait a minute. What a hypocrite I am, because isn't that basically exactly what I do now? And it is. Now that I think a little more about that I do that now. So my days off, like what was I saying towards the start of this video? I don't always do this on my days off, like especially now that, well, other than the past few days, like the past few days and nights, it's been back to being very, very cold again, like unbearably so. But shortly before that, like the couple weeks that we had before that, we're starting to get warmer, like more like spring weather. So with the weather being better, at least some of the time lately, I've been getting better about going out on my days off and still trying to do stuff. But, for most of the winter, and especially like last week with me PMSing, or not always when I'm PMSing, but most of the time I would say, more often than not, like with me PMSing and with the winters, like both of those things just come back around and around over and over and over, like never ending pretty much. Winter especially is never ending where I'm from. I'm assuming at some point my periods will end, but they're still going strong pretty much. Like, there's not yet, they're not over yet for sure. So there's always, that stuff is always just coming back around and around over and over and over and over and over. So with that, with those times, my days off from the club, I pretty much just sleep. And I don't want to do that. Like I do beat myself up about it. I feel very blessed, and I am very blessed to at least have the option, because I know that my body needs that. My body needs to catch up on sleep when it's able to, like that, because a lot of the time, most of the time, when I am working here at the club the rest of the week, like towards the front of the week lately, like, for a while now, pretty much all winter, all of this past winter, and even before winter started last year, I was doing 10-hour night shifts, like back to back, just in a row. So, I talk a lot about that, how in between those shifts, I'm not really exactly getting much sleep. So my days off, yeah, I need to catch up on sleep. Like my body just needs it. And especially when I'm PMSing. So yeah, I mean, I do a lot of that. My days off, I sleep a lot. And then what do I do a lot of the rest of the time? I sit here to do my YouTube videos. I sit and complain. So I was saying, like, I never want to be one of those old people that just sleeps or else sits up and complains. That's exactly what I do now. That's exactly what I am now. I'm an old person that does just that. So I guess I shouldn't have really said that, because that makes no sense. That's just me being a hypocrite. And so I apologize. I can't knock that. I can't, really say that. Even though I did say it, I shouldn't have, because again, that's exactly what I do now. So, never never mind. All right, what else? Whatever. Sorry about that. Yep. Okay. I started. Oh God, it's cold. I'm getting cold now. I think that's everything. No, there's one more thing on here on this vegetable wrapper. I've been seeing a lot of planes today. I feel like I don't normally see a lot of planes over here. Sometimes, but today I'm seeing a lot. I feel like. There's only 3 things on here. I've said 2. I know that. Okay. There's one more thing to say for now. And then I can just toss that over there and not worry about that anymore. All right. What was it again? Oh, yeah. I don't want to talk about this. Okay. So I wasn't really, basically I'm planning on calling this video a drink review. Why? Because I have a drink. Because I can't think of anything else to call this video today. Like, I'm pretty sure this is my 167th live. And that's just out of my live videos. Oh, actually, no. My YouTube says that I have over 200 videos on my channel so far. I think it's like 209, or it was at 209, and then I did like 3 videos yesterday. So it's over 200 basically. But out of those 200 plus videos that I have on my channel so far, I think that this is like my 167th live or something like that. So with that, sometimes I do kind of run out of like things to call my like titles for my videos. I mean, I still have other titles pending for like other stuff, but for this video, I'm like, what would I call this one today? And nothing was really coming to mind. So also, I just really want to try this drink. And I've been having a really hard time lately with trying to find like a more private area here in the club. I don't know. The private dressing room has been unlocked. Last Wednesday, I asked one of the managers to unlock it, and they didn't. They kind of made it sound like they were going to. And then that was earlier, that was like at the start of the shift, pretty much like the start of the night shift. And I asked them then early on, they made it sound like they were going to. I was like, great. So I checked shortly after, it was still locked. And I was just like, all right, well, maybe they just haven't gotten around to it yet. You know what I mean? So I was just trying to like be patient, and I didn't ask them again because I just didn't want to. I just didn't want to bug them, and like I didn't want to hound them. Like, you know what I mean? Didn't want to hound them. I just didn't ask them again. I kind of just wanted to think that they would get around to it later. But I will say, I remember I did make a point to check that. I was checking it throughout the night periodically, but I also made a point to check that dressing room that was locked, the private dressing room, at the very end of the night, at the end of the shift, just to make sure, like, just to see, and it was still locked. So I'm assuming that they just never got around to it. They either forgot or they just didn't want to do it. I don't know. But I don't know. So with that private, I just don't want to ask them. I just don't want to ask any of the people here to unlock it. I just don't like asking people for things. It's not a big deal, you know, but it's like, I just don't want to. I don't know. I just hate asking people for things, no matter how big or how small. The bigger the worse, obviously, but even the tiniest little thing, I hate asking for favors. I hate asking people anything. I hate interaction. Like, I just don't want to do it. So with that private dressing room being locked like so much lately, I mean, it's usually locked, but especially lately, it's just like always locked. So with that, especially, you know, I just can't find a spot in the club to do a video like I would like to. I have a protein bar that I want to do a review for if I can at some point. But again, it's like the last couple videos that I did a review for in the public dressing rooms, dancers have been coming in like when I was doing the videos, which isn't a big deal either, but I am really concerned that I don't want to accidentally like have any nudity on my videos. Obviously that would be a bad thing, like that's not allowed on here. So I figured I'll just do this video. This video is just going to be one big drink review basically. Makes no sense, I know, but then again, what does in my silly little world? Gosh, why is there so much dust on everything all the time? I hate dust. I haven't rinsed this one. Usually I try to rinse things before I consume them to get all the dust off as best I can, but I haven't rinsed this, so I'm just trying to blow it off as best I can, and it's bothering me. If I haven't already mentioned this, this is the Body Armor Flash IV pineapple passion fruit flavor, and and I'm so excited to try this because the other one that I had of these, the watermelon one that I had a couple nights ago on Monday, I feel so much better since I had that. I mean, I still don't feel great because I'm about to start my period like any moment probably, or tomorrow, or just soon, but I feel better. I definitely feel better. I felt better so shortly after having that drink, and I still do now too. So that was a couple days ago, nights, and I felt better shortly afterwards, and I still feel better now. Normal people aren't bothered by dust, I've noticed. They just don't think about it. No worries whatsoever when it comes to things, it seems like. And I'm just, you know, as usual, just a weirdo, but oh god. Yeah, that's good. Oh, instantly I like this one better than the other one, the flavor wise. I took one sip of oh, this is really good. I took one sip at first. Well, when I did the drink review video for the watermelon one on Monday, I took one because during that video 3 dancers came into the dressing room. And the first one was fine, whatever, but then right before I ended that video, 2 other dancers came in, and when there were 2 at once like that, I was just like, I can't with this. So at that point, I finally just shut up, cracked open the drink, took one quick sip, made a face, said that it tasted bad, basically, and then ended the video, which I feel bad about. And I was saying this yesterday as well, and I'll say it again now. I effing love these drinks. I'm saying it again now because I really, really love these drinks, and I feel bad for saying that I didn't like the first one. It wasn't that I didn't like it. It was that I was just, I said it yesterday, I was in a bad mood because I just wasn't able to find any privacy to do the video like I wanted to. But at first, like, so with the flavor of the watermelon one, the first sip that I took wasn't magical and delicious like this one. I mean, but I think it was also, yeah, just more of like how I was feeling in that moment, just being frustrated. After I ended that video, after taking the one quick sip, I ended the video, and then right away, I just chugged the rest of the drink because, you know, I didn't want to carry the bottle around with me the rest of the night like I had been up until that point, I think. So, because these are 20 ounces. For some reason, I thought these were 16-ounce bottles. They're actually 20-ounce bottles. So 95 milligrams of caffeine, and then just like a whole bunch of other stuff on the back on the label, electrolytes. But so yeah, with that, the flavor profile on that watermelon one, that first sip, it wasn't that it was actually gross, even though I made a face, because again, in the moment I was feeling frustrated. But the flavor was just, it wasn't bad, it wasn't great, it was okay, it was pretty good. it was good enough to where, yeah, I was able to chug the rest of that drink after I edited the video, and down smoothly. It sat in my stomach well. Shortly after that, I was saying how I like went upside down in the pool a bunch of times, and it felt fine in my stomach. So better than most drinks would, I feel like, especially like 20 ounces just being chugged like that. So, but this immediately, my first sip with this flavor, yes, the flavor profile is just delightful, magical and delicious, and just dancing around on my tongue and down my throat and into my tummy. Love it. Even though these cost $2.50 right now, you know, just like anything else, I'm sure, certainly wouldn't be surprised if the price just continues to increase and increase and increase, because that's just what prices do, apparently, is a hard rule of thumb for all of time as time goes on. Whatever, I'll still buy these again. They're way out of my price range, and I don't like that, obviously, but I think I'm gonna make an exception. I made an exception for these to try them because I was curious. I wanted to try them, and after trying them, I think I would still make an exception again in the future to have them again, because especially for this flavor, because this one's just really good, and flavor wise, especially, like, you know, and I feel so much better after having that first one. I'm hoping that I'll still like also feel pretty good after having the rest of this for tonight, you know, because otherwise, yeah, I'm feeling pretty crappy. Oh, and another thing. So recently, I've talked a lot lately about how recently my favorite manager had left the club a couple weeks ago. And not only that, like that was one thing. And I knew that was coming for a while before it happened. So it wasn't like it was a surprise by any means. Whereas I'm pretty sure, so what was a surprise is I'm pretty sure there was also a female DJ that was working here for a while, that I was working with for a while. And I'm pretty sure that she's no longer here. I haven't actually like heard officially like somebody else like say like, oh yeah, like she's not working here anymore. But I haven't seen her in a couple weeks now, and I don't know. Like, so I kind of didn't realize, because I was so attached to the way that my favorite manager would do the lights and the music in the DJ booth when I was doing a shift with them, I was so focused on how much I really liked the way that they would do that stuff, to where I just loved being on stage so much more when they were on shift here at the club, again, doing the lights, doing the music for the stages, because they just had a certain way of doing it where it would activate this style of dancing for me that it was like my favorite way to dance, basically. Like, I just loved it. And I can't really seem to get that any other way. Like, that similar kind of thing, not that exact kind of style of dancing, but a similar kind of thing. Other styles of dancing that I would really enjoy. I have experienced that with other employees here in the past, but other than him, I guess it's been a while. Like, there were a couple of DJs where that was happening. There was a handful of DJs actually throughout the years. There was at least 4 DJs that had worked here in the past that were able to do that, just in different ways. So again, not the exact style of dancing as this manager, but with this manager, it was like just such a consistent thing for me for like years, you know, like multiple years, I feel like, up until this point. And I was so focused on that I wasn't really realizing how much, I mean, I kind of did, but, well, with this female DJ, she would come in much later into the shift, like almost towards the end of the night. So I just wasn't working with her as much, even though I've been doing a lot of her shifts for probably many, many months now, pretty much the entire winter, and I think for a few months before winter had started. So at least half a year, maybe almost a full year at this point, practically. Not a full year, but I want to think probably pretty close to it. Anyways, even though I was doing a lot of her shifts, the amount of time that she was actually on the shift that I was doing while she would be basically only be here for like 4 or 5 hours, whereas my shifts lately for that time have been like 10 hours. So basically, like, I don't know, I guess like half of my shift, or a lot of times even less than that, was the time that she was here for that shift. So I mean, yeah, I did kind of realize that I was really enjoying working with her too. But again, I was just so focused because with my favorite manager, I don't know, I just feel like the amount of time that I was working with him was like a longer, more consistent. I was just very focused on that. You know what I mean? Like, especially knowing, because I did know for a while that he was going to be leaving. So I was just really focused on like working with him and trying to keep in mind that he was going to be leaving the club, and just really trying to enjoy the time that I had with him until that happened, like it did recently a couple weeks ago. So with this female DJ, yeah, I wasn't really as aware. Even though I was somewhat aware, I wasn't as aware or as focused on how much I was actually enjoying working with her too. And now that she's not here, it's really a bummer. Like, I don't want to say I was taking for granted how good of a DJ she was, but maybe I didn't mean to, you know what I mean? Like, I really tried. We didn't talk a lot. We didn't really like know each other, but when we did briefly kind of like converse, I would always try to be nice to her, and I would always try to like let her know that I appreciated her, and like, you know, thought that she was a really good DJ, because she is. But so I don't want to say that I was taking like it for granted that what a good DJ she is or was, or however, whatever would make more sense to say for that. But I don't know, I'm just realizing it more now that she's not here. I'm like, crap. Like, so it's just like a double bummer. Like, no more favorite manager, and now she's not here apparently. So my time on stage now, it's just not the same. And like, even right now, before I started this video, I had already signed into the club. So I already went into the club before this video, and there was nobody there. There was like maybe one or two dancers that I saw on the main floor, and same with the customers, like one or two customers that I saw. Like, nobody was on stage. There were no dancers on stage, or no, there was just, yeah, no dancer on stage. So an empty stage. And normally, if I hadn't been, well, I guess if I hadn't been like wanting to do this video, I would still want to go on stage to stretch and warm up and just be on stage, because I love being on stage. But the music that's playing, or the music that was playing, was just very slow, very tiring, very boring. But actually, you know what? That reminds me, last Wednesday, it was the same manager here, and last Wednesday the music was poppin'. I have no idea who that guy is that just waved to me. So this guy, he's like walking to the club. Obviously I just waved because he just waved at me. I have no idea who that is. But apparently maybe he might know who I am. God, I hope not. Or gotcha. Jesus, I apologize. I don't mean to take your father's name in vain. So yeah, I don't know. So that's so, like, you see the inconsistency here with that. Again, it's the same manager, but the music they were playing last week was poppin', and also on a Wednesday. Whereas maybe it was just that song, but it was just so slow and just tired. I can't dance to that. I mean, I could stretch. I do try to stretch when I'm on stage, but whereas, like, before, when my favorite manager was here, not that long ago, you know, it's only been a couple weeks since he left, but since he moved far, far away, like with him working here for the shifts that I would do with him, And he would be here lately he had been here at this time on a Wednesday too. And with that being the case, I would just like for him to be here on shift, no dancers on stage, right? Even with no customers in the club, or actually especially because then I wouldn't have to worry about trying to like please that, like, you know, like perform for them. Like I could just go on stage. I would be so excited to just run up there and just do my thing. Just get in the zone, let the music take over, and I would get into this place that I swear was like bliss or nirvana, like just both, like just the best place to be. Like I would that was my happy place. Like that was just the best thing ever, you know, like and it just made me realize like that I'm a dancer and like that I really have like a talent for dancing, or I want to think that I do. Even if other people wouldn't agree with me, I don't care because I feel like I know that I do. You know what I mean? Like I know that I do for my own personal how I feel doing it. It would just feel so good and so great for me to be doing it that like that's all I really cared about in those moments. And still to this day, like I was just living for that, you know what I mean? And it's like that's gone now. I don't want to think I want to think I can still get back to that like you know what I mean? Like I want to think it's still possible like after I end this video, I could go back in there. Maybe I could just maybe it would be different, you know, maybe it would be a great song playing, like a upbeat fun song to dance to and other good music, and I could just go on stage and still do my thing and still get some kind of like semblance of that, you know what I mean? But it's still just not the same. Like, and also the lighting is so different now. The lighting now is just awful in so many ways, in so many ways. Like the shapes, the patterns, the colors, everything about the lights now I hate. I hate the lights now. I had issues with some of the lights before, but they recently changed the lights too. And now the way the lights are now, there's not, because at least before there were types of, there was lighting before that I really did like. Like there was before they changed them, there was some that I hated and some that I loved. So there was at least both. Whereas now, since they've changed them recently, I haven't seen a single time that I've liked the light, that I've felt any way about the lighting other than completely hating it. I haven't seen a single time here where the lighting's been even bearable for me. Whereas again, before there were a lot of settings and types of it that I actually really loved, even though there were other types that I didn't. Now it's just, I hate all of it. I hate the lights every single time I've seen the stage since they've changed them. And you know what's weird about that is it was actually my favorite manager that did the lights. So I'm still wondering if he selected the lights now the way that they are, or if he just installed them. It's 5:30 on the dot, by the way. Ding. I kind of did make a point to try to ask him that before he left. I forget the way that I phrased it because I was trying to phrase it in a non-insulting way. I was trying to phrase it where I didn't want it to come across like how I didn't want it to be obvious how much I hate these new lights. So, but I did because I needed to know, you know what I mean? So I was like trying to ask him. I was like, I forget how I said it, but I at least tried to ask him, and the way that he answered, it didn't answer my question. I don't know. I feel like I still don't have my answer though. Like however he said it, I don't know why I can't remember. But even, it's not that I can't, well, it is that I can't remember, but even in the moment, even when I did still remember what he said in the moment, like the way that he phrased it, it didn't, even then I didn't understand what the answer was. Like, and I don't know why that would be the case. Like, what would he have said to make it that abstract? And just like a non-answer. Because he had done a lot of other things, like a lot of other stuff here at the club where I was like, oh my gosh, he's like God, like he can do everything. Like he would always do such a good job with the stuff that he would do here. Like, he built an entire VIP room out of one of the old offices, and it's the best VIP room I've ever seen. Like, it's by far the best VIP room in the club. There's a picture of it on my channel under the post section, or there should be. I put one up. I put some pictures up there a few months ago, but hopefully they're still up on here. So as far as the lighting, I can't help but wonder, like, why is it so bad? Like, I mean, so I don't know, to be fair, all right, I'll try to be more fair and objective here. It's not so much that it's, other dancers look great in this lighting. Not everyone, like, you know, obviously, but I have seen a lot of the dancers, especially the ones that are in particularly good shape. I have seen a lot of the dancers here look good in a lot of the lighting, the new lighting, but I've also seen a lot of the really fit dancers. The thing is, the way that the lights are now, it seems like all of the new lights that I've seen now, they change so much. I feel like they did this before to an extent, but the way that they do this now, it's so much more extreme, it feels like, or just so much more frequent. And so, like, you can have flattering lighting, like nice lighting that looks flattering for most people and most body types, I feel like. And then you can have the exact opposite, like cellulite enhancing lights come on directly after that. So it's constantly flashing back and forth between the two with like other variations, like other levels of the two in between. But the way that they're flashing back and forth, the pattern, it feels like you just never know what it's going to be. But for me, I feel like I always know that the extremely unflattering lighting is always coming back around in just a few moments, pretty much. So even if it's nice lighting for a brief moment, where I'm like, hey, I actually think I might look hot for a second here. Again, that extremely, extremely overly bright or just really unflattering lighting is just coming right back around the next moment, like seconds later. And it's going back and forth from that over and over and over with, again, many variations between the two. Like, so mentally, it's just very overwhelming to me. And it's like, and even though I've seen their dancers look pretty good in some of that lighting, just especially the shapes and the patterns, they're nothing like they used to be, where the way they are now, it just doesn't, for me personally, like in a non-objective way, just for me personally, the lights just don't go with how I like to dance. I find the patterns and the shapes on the stage very distracting and very off-putting for how I like to move, if that makes sense. Whereas a lot of the other patterns and shapes that they used to have before they changed all this, before they changed the lights, the patterns and the shapes before would usually, not always, obviously, but they would usually go right along in line with how my body likes to move. And I feel like a lot of times they would help enhance my movements and how, again, how I like to dance. So yeah, now it's kind of the opposite basically, and it's just messing me up pretty bad. I'm really, really trying to still enjoy being on stage, because for the longest time, that's been my passion, or like one of my main passions, one of my favorite things to do, and just such a big thing for me, you know, like something that I am just so passionate about and that I have worked so hard for my dancing. So yeah, it's been a really difficult adjustment period for me with that, with all of this stuff going on lately. And I've, you know, obviously I'm still really trying my best to cope and to deal with stuff the best I can. This huge RV just pulled up. Huh. That guy looks fly. He looks fun. I kind of, for a moment there, thought like a whole bunch of people were gonna come pouring out the door, and like one guy came out. Well, two people came out. One person came out one door, and then one person came out the other door. But I feel like I can see a bunch of other people back there. In the anyway, So, but I also think it's weird because the female DJ. So again, I don't really actually know what happened with her. I've kind of been afraid to ask. In case you can't tell, I am afraid. I'm somebody that's very afraid to ask questions because I'm always afraid of the answers. I'm afraid of everything basically, but yeah. In most cases with things, the answers are usually not what I would want to hear, or they're just very unsettling and disturbing to me. So, yeah, I try not to ask questions like ever for anyone, if I can help it. There's a third person coming out. She is so skinny. What was I saying? Am I allowed to use that word? There was a video that I saw on YouTube recently where that word was being like muted out or like dubbed or something like that. I was like, is that word not allowed anymore? It's like, what? I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, like in this day and age, unfortunately. Oh my god. Anyway, what was I saying? So the female DJ, god, I get so distracted. Thank gosh I haven't seen a squirrel yet today. Those distract me too. What are these people doing? Like, because the two that went before just came back out. Now they can't get back in the RV. They're like banging on the door. Oh, now the door's opening. I can't like not see this right now. You know what I mean? Like I can't block that from my view to not be distracted by it. I have to like look that way, but the camera's this way where they are. So it's like, oh, here comes more people. I really hope this is like a whole group of people coming out. And it looks like it actually might be. Here more people come. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes. Oh gosh, this is gonna be good, you guys. Yes, people. Normally I'm like, people, but these people look like fun. I hope they actually are. I hope they're decent. Not too decent, you know what I mean, but like decent in a good way. Decent in a strip club way. Does that make sense? Can you hear him? Okay, I want to think this is good because again, when I was in the club earlier, there was like nobody in there. So okay, at least there's gonna be something going on now. But with the female DJs, I don't know what's going on with that yet. I just know that it's been a couple weeks since I've seen her. But right before I stopped seeing her coming in for her shifts, or what would have been her shifts before, Taz was saying how like she had been like drinking at work, which at this club that I work at, like the dancers are allowed to drink, which I used to do on shift here. Like I used to definitely not let that privilege go to waste, if you know what I mean. I used to get pretty drunk here, honestly. Like I used to drink a lot here back in the day and just like wiling out, you know what I mean? And it was great, but I was a lot younger then, obviously. So these days I can't remember the last time I had a drink. I know it's probably been like multiple years that I've had a drink. I don't know. I wouldn't feel well if I were to have a drink at my age, honestly. Like, I just don't tolerate it that well anymore. Like, anyway, what was I saying? Well, so the dancers are allowed to drink here, but the employees definitely are not. So, you know, this female DJ is obviously an employee, so she's not supposed to be drinking on the job. But I thought it was kind of weird timing too, because so last week, I think it was last week, on Sunday night last week, there was a customer here. It was a very slow night, but there was one guy here like the entire shift pretty much from the time that the club opened when I first got here, all the way up until the time that the club closed when I left. So that's 10 hours. And I like never see, I oftentimes will do a full 10-hour shift like that, but well, on Sunday it's a full shift. The rest of the week, that's just like part of the shift because we open earlier the rest of the week, but Sunday we open later. So on Sunday, that's considered a full, well, that is a full shift. Anyway, I never see customers here for that amount of time like that. But there was a guy here that was here for that time, that entire time last Sunday. And basically the entire time that he was here, I was hanging out with him for most of that time when I wasn't on stage, and he was drinking. So towards the end of that shift, he was like talking about, it seemed like he had been wanting to drive back after, like back to his place. And I was like trying not to freak out, like trying to figure out like what to do about it. Like basically trying to like think of like alert everyone in management basically if they didn't already realize, you know, like just trying to tell everyone I could see like don't let this guy drive basically. Which, you know, like he asked me for my number at one point throughout that, and I did give it to him, and he did text me after the fact and said that he got back to his place after fine. So I guess it's like no big deal now, but in the moments I was like really anxious about it and just like trying to make sure like all the management was, which apparently they were already aware, you know, like, but I don't know. I was trying not to stress about it too much, but sometimes I'm the kind of person that just stresses out about things a lot, even though I try not to. So anyway, I thought it was weird timing though, because, you know, that was like a situation where it was like an issue of like possible drinking and driving. And I was like, oh, like, you know, really worried about it. So then with this female DJ, I guess she had gotten in trouble with drinking and driving recently. Like she said that I think she lost her license this past January for doing that kind of thing. And so she told me that, like she told me that herself. What she didn't tell me herself, what I heard from somebody else was that she's actually like an alcoholic. And so, but also I guess her fiance died last year. So she was engaged, and yeah, they apparently passed away last year. So basically it just sounds like she's been going through a lot. And I just think I don't know, it kind of just seems like weird timing though to me with how like the whole drinking thing, like, oh, like this guy was sounding like he was gonna drink and drive, and now this female DJ who's gotten in trouble with drinking and driving, like now she's drinking on the job, and now she's like, it seems like maybe she got fired for that, or is like, I don't know, having to take a break because of that or something. Like maybe like hopefully they're just putting her on like a timeout period or something if she did get in trouble for that, but I don't know. She was a really good DJ, and you know, and she was kind of talking to me a little bit towards the end, like right before, basically like the last time that I saw her. So the last time that I saw her was probably at this point a couple weeks ago, and it was actually that same week where, so yeah, I'm pretty sure last week, I don't know, it feels like longer than that at this point, but I'm pretty sure this was last week, only just last week. So that was the same week where we had that Sunday with that guy that was here drinking all throughout that night. But so that was Sunday, and then Wednesday that week, that's usually like, for a while it seemed like she was working Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nights, just like I was. So I was seeing her and working with her Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night, like in a row like that. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we would have a different DJ that's like a guy. So I wasn't working those nights because I'm scared of pretty much all humans, but especially males. So I don't know. So basically, like throughout the week of me working with her, Wednesday nights would be my last shift seeing her for a little while until the next week. because she didn't usually seem to work on like Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, which neither did I. Um, so last Wednesday, I guess, was that just last week then? Last Wednesday, 1 week ago? I already feel like I haven't seen her in so long. It feels like so much longer than 1 week. There's no way. This must be, I'm sure, like, me trying to remember off the top of my head, like, live on camera like this, I must be misremembering some of these details, because there's no way this was just 1 week ago. I feel like there's been so many shifts in between then, and I feel like it's been so long since I've seen her. Can you tell I maybe have a little bit of like attachment issues with people? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just weird. I know, but so, guys, I miss her. So, and like, I never even really talked to her. I just like working with her because, again, she's a good DJ, and I can appreciate good workers, because like I want to think that I'm one of those. I want to think that I'm a good worker. So, um, so that one of the Wednesdays or whatever, I guess maybe it was last Wednesday. Um, Towards the end of that shift, or no, it was the end of that shift, she was talking to me a little more about how like she wasn't able to drive because of like what had happened with her license, like with her drinking in the past for January and stuff. And like she was talking about like her kid, and just, I don't know, like she was clearly going through it, you know what I mean? And I guess she lives not like super far away from the club, but probably like at least close to at least 30 minutes away. So it's a little bit of a drive, like, you know what I mean? And she was talking about how it was so difficult for her to like Uber, like to and from the club and stuff, and how she was barely making enough like just to afford the Uber. And I swear, like, normally these days, in the past I would be more inclined to think this way, but normally these days I don't do this kind of thing anymore, because I just can't really, realistically, with the way that my lifestyle has been for a while now, I just realistically can't really do this kind of stuff anymore. But for whatever reason, this time I came so close to offering her a ride. Like, because again, she like is a really good DJ, and I really liked working with her, and I just felt really bad. I came so close to offering her a ride or whatever, and I mean, I didn't, because again, that kind of thing is just not realistic for me. Like, unfortunately, I feel bad, but like years ago, it was more of a thing that I could like realistically manage to do. Like, whereas now that's just not the case anymore. Which does, I don't know, it does suck. At least, I don't know, at least I don't have to bother anymore. Like, back in the day, I would give people rides a lot. Like, not a lot, but over the course of years, like, it had been many, many times. Like, at least, I don't know. I want to say probably 10 or more times, 10 or more different people throughout the years that I had, because I would try to do what I could. But, so it did cross my mind, though, that night. But, like, I will be honest, like, thinking now, like, realizing, so I'm pretty sure that was the last time that I saw her here at the club. So I'm just thinking now, like, if I had done that, I don't know. I don't really know how to look at it, actually, because in a way, it's like, well, that could have very well been wasting my time if she was just gonna mess things up anyway. I don't want to put it like that, but if she was just gonna if she was just gonna get in trouble enough, if she was just gonna get in trouble anyways to where she's no longer working here. You know what I mean? Because it's like, for me to invest my time and my energy and my gas money like that, like, I probably wouldn't have asked her for gas money, you know what I mean, if she's like already struggling. So for me to invest my time and my energy and my money like that, only for her to no longer work at the club after that, like, that would really suck. You know what I mean? And I already have that feeling from DJs that had worked here years ago. Like, it's been years since those other DJs that I'm referring to, it's been years at this point since they've worked here. But when they were working here years ago, I would overly tip them, like way too much. I was way too generous with them. And even with them, I would offer them rides, like I would bring them in like presents and gifts for the holidays and their birthday. Like I would really go out of my way and be overly generous with them, to where I do kind of have some regrets about that now, because again, it's like I never see them now. That was supposed to be an investment, you know, like for the dance, like for my job and for like dancing and for the club. And it's a pretty crappy feeling when you try to invest in something like that, whether it be like just stuff in general or people, like anything like that you're trying to, you know, put time and money and effort towards, and then it just ends up like, you know, not really lasting, which I guess, you know, most things in life don't really last. Like nothing lasts forever, right? But even when it was lasting, the both of the DJs that I was really doing that with especially were usually pretty rude to me, pretty mean to me, and giving me a really difficult time. So, but anyways, I don't know, with this female DJ, I don't know how to look at it, because again, on the one hand, like with it seeming like she's no longer working here now, that really would have felt like a waste of my time and my energy and my gas money to have done that. But then I'm like, well, what if that would have made the difference between her getting, you know what I mean, between her like getting in trouble to get to, you know, for whatever ended up happening for her to not be working here. What if that would have been the difference between things being okay with her job here versus not, like it is now, apparently. I don't know, like I just don't know if that would have made a difference or not, like if that would have like helped things or just been a waste of my time and my energy and effort and, you know, yeah, gas money. So I don't know, but I like with stuff like with the DJs in the past, I'm really trying to like learn my lesson from that, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to make those same mistakes again, where I'm overly generous with people and then it just comes back to bite me in the ass and it just ends up being a waste for me. Like I feel bad saying it that way, but I can't afford to waste any of my time, any of my energy, any of my effort, any of my money, or I just can't afford to waste anything these days, you know? And that only becomes more and more and more so the case as time goes on. Things get more expensive and I get older and things just continue to get more difficult, etc. So I don't know. But another thing I thought was kind of weird, I can't help but think about this too, is that I've mentioned recently how, well, I think I actually, even in this video, I mentioned earlier in this video how a couple weeks ago I had twisted my ankle and also injured my wrist by dropping my bag, my big heavy bag on it, because of tripping over a pen that was right outside of the DJ booth. And when that happened, she was like feet away from the DJ booth. She was right there, like just 1 or 2 feet away from that pen. And I kind of at first was like, gee, I wonder if she maybe like put that there on purpose for me to trip over. But I hate thinking like that. I hate for my brain to be like that. You know what I mean? So I was like, no, it was just a coincidence, whatever. So, but when I tripped, I mean, my ankle's still hurting now, and that was weeks ago. And I don't know, like it was a pretty bad fall. Like I tripped and I fell and I twisted my ankle really bad. So, you know, obviously I was upset about that. So at first I was just like, oh, maybe whatever, just a coincidence. But then shortly after that, I went out back to kind of like cower and hide after that. Basically to like try to assess my injuries, which were, you know, I did get injured from that. So, but shortly after I came back out from hiding after that, my next time going on stage after that, she pokes her head out of the DJ booth and looks right at me like a weird way. She's like, are you ready to go up? Like, are you feeling good? Kind of thing. And just the way that she did that, that's when it kind of clicked in. Like, I was like, okay, that couldn't have been a coincidence. I instantly got that vibe. The way that she looked right at me, the way that she said that, I was like, I wonder if she must have at that point. Like that really made it feel like she must have done that on purpose or put that pen there on purpose. Which, whatever, it's still my fault for not being self-aware enough to have seen it. Like I was still the one that didn't see it, so it's still my fault for tripping on it. But again, I can't help but think that it's also kind of weird timing. Like, if she did do that on purpose, is this some kind of karma for her? Like, for her, if she did get in trouble, like, so shortly after that? Like, but you know what? Even if so, like, let's just say even if she did do that on purpose with the pen for me to get me to trip on it like that, or to try to, which I did end up doing, obviously, but even if she did do that on purpose, like, I still wouldn't think of it like, oh, ha ha, karma. Like, I'm still really bummed out. If she is no longer working here, like it seems is probably the case, I'm not. There's a very small part of me where it's like, oh, gee, maybe that's karma, but it's not like a happy, like, oh, ha ha. Like, I'm really bummed out. Like, I'm really gonna miss working with her because regardless, like, she's a good DJ, you know. And same with the DJs in the past. Like, the other DJs that I was just referring to a few minutes ago, yeah, they were usually very rude to me, but I would overlook that most of the time or just very often, and I would still overly tip them and I was still overly nice to them just because I respected how good they were at their job and they were good DJs. So I think because, like, for me myself, I know that I'm talented, and I also know that I have a lot of character flaws, and I'm honestly not the greatest person when it comes to my character and like the things that I've done in the past, especially. However, I can't help but just, it's not that I don't care about that, and it's not that I don't feel like guilty or bad for that, because I definitely do. But I can't help but just turn towards my talent more and just focus more on that, because I'm like, thank gosh, at least I know I'm talented. Like, that's just what kind of, it does in a sense override the rest of that a little bit for me, especially now, because now I feel like I've worked on my character, or I've tried to so much to where I feel like the way that I am now, I feel like I have made progress, and I've tried for so long now to be a better person and to do better and be better. And I feel like for the most part, I've been successful with that. Thank gosh. So, and then just all throughout that process, like the time of me working on that kind of thing, I've come to realize more and more my talent as a dancer. So the combination of that. So when I notice talent in other people, and I feel like regardless of their character flaws and regardless of like the bad things that like the bad things that they might do or the mistakes that they might make, for the most part, as long as it's not too extreme or like really causing me like extreme physical like damage or like really putting me at jeopardy in an extreme way, you know what I mean? Like, usually I can overlook their character flaws or what might be considered their character flaws and just focus on their talent and them being good at their job, if that makes sense. Like, I can really appreciate, or I feel like I want to think that I can really appreciate other talent in other people as well, both in myself and with others. Like, talent is just such a priority to me. I wouldn't say that it's a top priority, but it is up there. It's definitely high on my list of things that I value. Um, for better or for worse, talent does mean a lot to me. I really am just fascinated by it. I think that talent is a fascinating thing. Again, both in myself and with others. So, and especially with the case of the DJs or the people that have worked here at the club in the DJ booth, their talent in doing that, when that's able to bring out my talent that I feel like I have as a dancer, the synergy of that, I guess you could say, or like the combination, the way that those things kind of like work together, like uh, talent enhancing other talent, if that makes sense. I just think that's such a cool thing. Like collaboration like that. And because in most other cases for myself, with pretty much anything else other than the dancing here at the club, I've always worked by myself. I've never collaborated with people. I've never like, it's not that I'm not a team player. It's just that normally when I work on stuff, especially like my writing, for instance, like it's usually the stuff that I work at otherwise is very like just all my own work, all to myself. I don't tell other people about my writing, even though I have obviously mentioned it here on my YouTube, but like my family knows about it, but they're not like involved with it, if that makes sense. Like they don't like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I don't really like actively like involve or tell other people about, or like even with my YouTube, like I'm very open here on my YouTube, but in my real life, like the family or the coworkers, the people that I do talk to, like in my real life, I don't really tell them about stuff about myself that means a lot to me, like my writing or my YouTube. Like most of my work, again, other than my dancing here at the club, is very, very personal and very, very like individual, like individualized just to me. I don't share it with others. I don't tell other people about it. I don't involve other people with it. It's just a very, very independent labor of love, like just me and my own work. So for me to feel like other people are like, you know, with the dancing here at the club, like involved and like can make such a huge difference in the level of talent that I feel able to activate as a dancer here on stage. Like, yeah, I can still feel like I activate my talent as a dancer, like in other ways, regardless of who else is working here at the time. But I noticed such a huge difference. I really am I feel like I'm so aware of what a huge difference it can make who else is here, like contributing to that and affecting that as far as being in the DJ booth. So yeah, that was a great drink review, right? I really, oh, you know what? I am still kind of thirsty because, yeah, I, it's also really cold in here. I guess I could wait after I end this video, but I'm thirsty now too after all that talking. Guys, the big group that went in, there's like a big group in there apparently, so I want to get in there to go investigate. Oh my god, it's so good. Love this drink. 10 stars. 10 out of 10. Oh god, I love that. That flavor tastes so much better to me than the other one too. It's not that the other one wasn't good, it's just that one's really good. Like, that's delicious. And I'm so glad that I did this drink now, because otherwise I would have been like waiting all night long, like all throughout my shift here the rest of the night. I would have been waiting and waiting, like just like desperate and like a moment or try to where I could like just drink this, and I would never want to drink it off camera. Like I got it specifically to do a video. So it cost me $2.50. I ain't wasting that on just like a regular like drinking experience. It has to be on camera. It has to be for a video, okay? And it was, or it should try to have it be. Hopefully this posts okay. So on that note, yum yum. There's somebody back there. Who is that? Who waved at me earlier? I didn't recognize them. I think that's the same guy. That is the same guy. It's the same guy. Oh my gosh, who is that? Some old dude. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. It is 6:05. That's my grandmother's birthday. Oh my gosh, her birthday is coming up. June 5th. She's a Gemini. Trouble. I don't know. She's actually like not trouble, or not that I've seen anyways. According to my mom, she was trouble. My grandmother had my mom when she was like 20 years old, or like 19 or 20. No, she got married when she was 19. She had my mom when she was 20. So my grandmother was very young when she was like a mother to my mom. And according to what my mom's told me, she was like not how I would think of my gram being, you know what I mean? Just my mom's account of how my grandmother used to be when they were both a lot younger, when my mom was growing up with her. It's so different than like what I would have ever imagined. Then again, I never really feel like I can trust very much what my mom says. I want to, but I don't know. I just never know what to think with stuff like that sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, I love Geminis. I feel like Geminis are like, yes, they're trouble. Like anyone that knows anything about astrology knows that probably, but I feel like for the most part, Geminis are like the good kind of trouble. They're like the fun kind of trouble, if that makes sense. Taz is a Gemini, by the way. Who else? I've always really liked Geminis. I did an entire video one time about a Gemini that I met here at the club. What was it? It was a Gemini and the Pisces. It was two guys that I met here at the club last summer. One was a Gemini and one was a Pisces. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're like the exact prototype. Like they were each the exact prototype of both of those signs. And I was just loving that because I do think astrology is really fun. And I pretty much always have ever since I first learned about it. Many years ago. Oh, that was another thing that I was going to mention. Oh gosh. So this actually isn't in my notes, but this was something that ties into what I was talking about for my video, one of my videos yesterday. I'm sure this was also from the third video that I did yesterday. So like round 3 from yesterday. But I was talking about how I had met a couple of teachers here at the club pretty recently. Very recently. Either, I think it was last week. Gosh, was it this week? No. Very recently, let's say. It was either this week or last week that I met them. There were 2 teachers. They were both from a town that I used to live in back when I was in middle school. You know what reminded me of this? Because when I was saying how I love astrology, and I've always loved astrology ever since I first learned about it, I can remember, I'm pretty sure I first learned about astrology when I was like in middle school. So that was the time that I was living in this town that I'm referring to, that these teachers said they're from. So also my family was only living there in that town for 2 years. So it was a very brief period of time, but because I was in middle school, so I became a teenager at that time when I was living there basically. I was like 12 and then I turned 13 within that 2-year time period. So I became a teenager within those 2 years that I was living there. Or that we were living there, my family and I. But so the teachers that were here at the club, up until then, I don't think I had ever met anyone here at the club that said that they were from that specific town. I had met plenty of other people here at the club that said that they were from the state that they were in, but not that particular small town. So when these 2 teachers said that they were from there, I was like, oh my gosh, and it just brought me back. And out of those 2 teachers, one of them was a female, and she kept kind of mentioning how she wanted to make out with one of the dancers here at the club, which, you know, I've made out with girls before basically, but you know, when I've done that before in the past, it was years ago, and back when I used to drink. So, you know, I was mentioning in this video earlier how I don't drink anymore and I haven't had a drink for a long time. So, you know, that kind of thing just wouldn't happen these days, like mostly because I don't drink anymore, but also because honestly, the older I get, I just get more and more grossed out by stuff. Like particularly human saliva, male or female. And I was saying in my video yesterday, again, one of my videos yesterday, which I think was the third one, I was just, you know, kind of talking about how the older I get, even though I've been attracted to both genders before, as I get older, I feel like I might actually be leaning more and more towards possibly being asexual. Like, again, even though I can be attracted to both genders, I don't necessarily want to be like intimate or physically like sexually active with either of them. I kind of just, I can appreciate people for being attractive, like just for being attractive. Just because I find someone attractive doesn't mean that I want to hook up with them, if that makes sense. Like, I can just appreciate attractiveness just for what it is. Like, they're attractive. That's great. But a lot of like bodily things, like bodily fluids, bodily functions, just humans in general, honestly, like myself included. So it's not like, you know, but like just in general, I just get grossed out by stuff. So and that becomes more and more the case, again, especially the older I get. And also the older I get, yeah, I don't really drink anymore. I don't really have any other vices. If I can get through the rest of this month, which at this point is just like another week or two, actually 1 week pretty much. So I have like 1 week to go. That'll be an entire year that I haven't smoked weed. Yeah, I just get kind of like more and more like not rigid, but just more and more tense and stressed out and just worried about stuff the older I get, you know? So anyways, I already mentioned a lot of that in my video yesterday, but what I forgot to mention, that particular town that those two teachers were from, I actually had a couple of female friends back then that I used to make out with. And again, that was all the way back in like middle school. So that was well before I had started high school. And mind you, when I did start high school, that was obviously years later, but at that point, my family had moved multiple states over to an entirely different area, entirely different state. So I was in an entirely different area, a whole new school, and I went all throughout my high school years. Excuse me. I went all throughout my high school years without ever doing anything like that. None of my female friends that I had in high school and I, like, we never hooked up, we never made out, nothing like that ever happened when I was in high school. So for whatever reason though, again, when I was in that one small town, just for those 2 years, that 2-year time period back in middle school, I had 2 female friends, and we did used to make out back then. So I was like 12 or 13. So I feel like that's a pretty young age to be like starting to experiment with stuff like that. But so, and yeah, other than that time, which again was only 2 years, like that was a very brief period of time, like, you know, in retrospect, like now, but besides that, the only other time that I've really like hooked up with females, like I've only ever made out with females. That's as far as I've gone with females. But the only other place or time that's ever happened was here with me working at the club as a dancer. And again, that was just like that was years ago. So it's not like it definitely hasn't been a common theme for me like throughout my life, like something that's happened very often. Like it was just that time and place, and then just me as a dancer. But so this same place, but not the same time, because again, me at the club, it was years ago. But I don't know, I just kind of wanted to mention that because it was fun times. And I honestly don't know if I've ever mentioned that kind of thing here on my YouTube before, but it was so fun. It was literally only me and 2 other females back at that time in middle school. And I remember one of them, I think her family was probably pretty rich. I mean, they must have been, because like not like super rich, but they definitely had like a really nice big house and had a hot tub in their backyard. So her and I, okay, so out of the 2 females, the 3 of us would kind of like sometimes when the 3 of us would have a sleepover together, the 3 of us would all like make out with each other and like take turns, but like to practice kissing. And we would like spin like this little tube of toothpaste, almost like spin the bottle, but rather than spinning a bottle, we were spinning a tube of toothpaste. But same idea, like whoever it landed on, like whoever spun it, whoever it landed on, that was like who we practiced with for that round. But we would also like put like a little bit of toothpaste like in our mouth to like freshen our breath or whatever. It was really, really weird. And even like to this day, thinking back now, I'm like, out of the 3 of us, which one of us was the weird one, like weird enough to be the one to suggest like the toothpaste thing? And surprisingly enough, I don't think it was me. So, like, yes, I'm very weird, obviously, but again, I just don't think that it was me that thought of the toothpaste thing. But out of the other of them, I can't for the life of me remember which one of them would have been the one to think of that. I just know that it was a thing and that we did that. We would take like a little tiny dab of toothpaste and we would like put it in our mouth and like swish it around and then do our kissing practice. So that was something that the three of us did. But then, like when the three of us would have a sleepover together. But out of the two of them, only one of them I would additionally make out with just myself. And that was the one that was like rich and like had a nice big house. So her and I would like in the backyard with her hot tub late at night when her parents were like asleep or whatever, or hopefully they were. We would be out in the hot tub together in her backyard and we would, I don't think we had the toothpaste in the hot tub, but we would practice kissing in her hot tub. And whereas the other one, I don't remember her and I ever like one-on-one doing that the way that me and this other girl did, which I think is, I don't know, I just think that's kind of interesting now, like looking back. And I swear, literally, I never did anything like that with any, I went all throughout high school and for a while after that. Actually, yeah, I went all throughout high school and then it was many years after high school had ended before I started dancing. I started dancing when I was 25. So basically from the age of like, I don't know, 13, 14, all the way to 25, that's pretty much 10 years, isn't it? Like at least 10 years. So I went from doing that at like 12 or 13 to having like a good solid 10-year chunk of time in between that nothing like that ever happened throughout high school, at any point throughout high school or for many years after that. And then, I mean, I went through some pretty bad things in high school actually, and also the years after that. So it's not like I was like in high school and afterwards like partying and having a great time. I was, for the most part, going through a lot of crappy stuff and struggling a lot, which I do think a lot of that had to do with the fact that my family had moved. You know, we were no longer in that other town that I was just talking about. Like at that point, that was like our, I don't know, third or fourth move. So I was very, very upset about that, and I was definitely really missing those girls from the smaller town that I had previously been making out with. I was definitely missing them, and I was definitely missing my friends back from there, you know, so understandably I would want to think. But anyways, yeah, that's like a good 10-year period, high school and afterwards, where nothing like that whatsoever ever happened, and until I became a dancer here at the club. And then when I was like 25 and onwards, I would say like my later 20s, 25 to 30, or not even 30, I would say 25 to like 27, 28. So just a few years there after I started dancing, that's when I rediscovered my, I don't want to say my love for making out with girls, but, or chicks, females, I can't just say girls now, but my, I don't know, it happened again once I started dancing, like shortly after that. And then, but that was also when I was drinking. So then, yeah, that kind of just fizzled out. But I do remember that at one point here at the club, there was like a chick or two where it was actually a consistent thing. It might have just been one chick, but it might have also actually been like two at different times, like, you know, one at one time and one time at the other. One at one time and one at another time. It's really cold in here right now, so I'm like, I'm feeling it more and more. Like my car's been off this entire time, so but these are warm, happy thoughts though, so I like that. But I'm still feeling the cold. My feet especially. My dancing feet. I miss them. There's so many people I miss. Like, I miss those people, even though my family only lived there for 2 years, I miss the people from there so much more. I don't really miss people from high school that much. I miss some people from high school, but I miss people from there, from this small town that I was just talking about with the making out. I miss people from there way more, I would say. even though we were only there for like 2 years, I don't know, but I feel like they were 2 very eventful years. And yes, probably in large part because that's where I became a teenager and was, you know, starting to make out with those girls. But the part where I had like it was either 1 or 2, but I know that I had at least 1 female regular that would come here into the club, and we would go out back and do lap dances and make out. And that was like a regular thing for me for a period of time, which, like, I've never even had a male regular here at the club, but this was literally a female regular that would come in, and I swear I'm not making this up. She was like this young chick, and I was still pretty young at the time, and she would like just, I don't remember if it was like every week or like a couple times a month or whatever it was, but it was definitely, there was a brief period of time, I don't even remember if it was like months or weeks or what, but I know that there was some period of time where that was like a thing. And that was, looking back now, so that I know I'm pretty sure that I have mentioned at some point here in my channel, like some other video, probably way far back at this point. I have no idea which one, but I'm pretty sure I have mentioned that part before. But I just love it because, especially now looking back, I'm like, wait, did that really actually happen? Like, I know that it did, but it doesn't even seem possible like nowadays, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like what year, like what specific year would that have been? You know what I mean? Like, if only I had been doing my YouTube back then. Imagine if I had been doing my YouTube back then, like I would definitely be talking about that in a video, and I would probably be saying like the exact day and time, like the exact calendar date, so I could like look back on it years later and like be reminded, like remind myself and like know for sure like when that was happening, that was actually really a thing. But anyway, so um okay, I still have some of this. I can't forget this. I have to definitely want to keep that in my bag. So I'm gonna wrap this up. It's really cold in here, and my phone battery is pretty low, and I want to go find out about that group from the RV. But I am really super glad that I got to come out and do this video with you guys today. It's 6:23, and I started this video shortly before 4:30. Dare I check? Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Holy crap. Holy crap. Oh wow. Guys, it happened again. What did I say? What did I say when I started this video? I said it was going to be a short one, right? Just a short, quick drink review. It was a drink review. Sure it was, but 10 stars, by the way. 10 out of 10. Oh no, I think they're coming back out. Crap. I better go try to get them to stay. I think I like this lighting better than when I started, so I do want to try to get a quick thumbnail, but leave. Crap. Oh, God. Where's the RV though? Where are they gonna go? The RV is not here anymore. Oh, there it is. Crap. Oh, they're leaving. I don't know what to do. Should I go over, and after I end the stream in a moment, should I go over and like knock on their RV if I can get there in time before they drive off? God, how weird would that be? I'll be honest. Their RV is parked way off to the side, so that kind of deters me. If their RV was parked closer to where my car is, if they were parked closer to the entrance of the club, so I felt a little bit safer doing it, I would probably do, I would do that. I would absolutely do that. If they were parked just a little bit closer, I would 100% do that. I would knock on the door and be like, come back in, I have pole tricks for you. See my sleeves? I have tricks up these sleeves. What did I say at the start of this video? Well, I actually said something different at the start of this video. I said that I didn't have tricks up my sleeve today, but I do. I would have tricks. I just rolled them back down. I swear that I would have tricks. I'm putting my tricks back up my sleeves. For that group of people, I would absolutely like spring to life and do pull tricks. Why do they have to park over there? It's so cold. I don't like this. God, there's more. would they have, this makes no sense. Mm. One of them is getting into a totally different vehicle. God, there's more. You guys aren't leaving already, are you?
Yeah.
Why? Why are you leaving so soon? Where are you guys going? Oh, okay. I was gonna do some pole tricks for you guys. Okay. Well, whatever. I tried. I could have tried a little harder, but people are so weird. You see what I mean? Do you see what I mean about me making sacrifices for my tube? Like, I know that I complain. Obviously, I complain a lot, but it's like, I feel like it's justified. I know that because I know that I complain all the time about my YouTube videos messing up so much. But it's like, especially with how long most of my videos are, I put a lot of time into this, and I put a lot of effort, and I make sacrifices. Like, I honestly want to tell myself, like, there's no, God, oh, this is really frustrating. Yeah, they're leaving. They were only in there. I don't know I don't remember off the top of my head now, but if this video does, if this video, it better post properly, but if it does, then I want to think I'd be able to check the timestamp if I could be able to watch it back later. Like, what time did they get here? And like, now they're leaving. They're leaving around 6:30. So they were only here for like what? What time did they get here? Well, I started this video at 4:30, pretty much. So they couldn't have been here for like what, an hour, if that? There they go. That's so depressing. That's so depressing, you guys. I was in such a good mood. I was, oh, darn! I was in such a happy mood, and I was talking about lovely things that make me mostly happy. I mean, now those things that I was just talking about is just gonna make me sad because I miss those. I was saying how I miss those people from middle school, like when I was at that small town that those teachers here at the club before were from. If those people would stay, then I would still be in a good mood from talking about that and focusing on the happy parts about it, because I was like so excited to go in there and like have this fun big group of people to like talk to and then do pole tricks for. Now they're gone. now I'm gonna go in there. Now I'm gonna go in there and it's gonna be like the way that it was when I went there earlier before I came out here to do this. And I really truly feel, I really truly believe. Oh, it's 6:30 on the dot, by the way. Ding. Dong. Dong. Not ding, now it's dong. Dong. Listen, what was I gonna say? I truly believe that if I had gotten my ass in there before they left, then they would have stayed longer. They absolutely would have stayed longer. I would have, you know, gotten them interested and engaged and excited and happy to be here, and it would have come back around to myself, and it would have been a mutual reciprocal thing, and it would have been a great time. And you see that, you know, but it's like priorities, pick and choose. Like, I can't just do a short, simple, sweet video to the point. I have to ramble on and on and on and on and on. And then I pay the price for it. Like, I suffer the consequences. It's supposed to be a good thing. It's supposed to be, I don't understand. Well, at least I have my drink. But it just means I have to pee more. And I already have to pee way too much. And then it doesn't matter what I do. So I try to drink less, and I swear I still pee so much, and then I just end up getting dehydrated anyways. I sure wish I had health insurance. Oh gosh, that reminds, oh, okay, so that's another thing that I was gonna say. That reminds me, I was telling myself I met a sexy male nurse here at the club last Wednesday. That was exactly 1 week ago. And I asked for his number. I think he gave it to me, although I don't know because, well, he gave me a number. I don't know if it's his number, like if he gave me like his actual number or not. Um, I hope he did, but I don't know because I haven't dared to text him yet. But I was telling myself I better just do it today because now that it's like exactly 1 week later, because if I don't do it today, then like that's just gonna be too long of a time period after that. Like if not now, then when? Like, you know what I mean? If not now, then never, I guess. But actually, so he was a male nurse, or he is a male nurse, he said. That was okay, so that was last Wednesday when I got this drink and the other one. When I got this and the watermelon punch flavor of this drink, I got both of those drinks, this and that drink. I got them both last Wednesday. So the same day that I met him. And so this, like, these drinks were on my brain, like, you know, ever since. They've been on my brain ever since. But so when I met him later that night, last Wednesday, shortly after getting these drinks, because he's a male nurse, I like kind of asked him about electrolytes. I was like, oh, you know, like, do you think, like, you know how like electrolyte drinks are like so popular these days? Like, do you think they really make that much of a difference, like from your medical perspective, you know, or whatever? And he basically said, like, not really. He basically said, like, maybe some difference, but not as much as like the media portrays necessarily. So I was like, okay, interesting. But then he also like showed me like the brand. He he basically like he brought up on his phone, he showed like a brand of electrolyte powder that he uses himself. So if he really felt that way, then why would he like spend the money to get electrolytes himself? You know what I mean? He showed me that brand, like Ultima electrolyte powder. He was like, this is the one that I use. And I instantly recognized it because I used to get that brand at Whole Foods like years ago, back when I could afford it. Or afford it a little more, like, I don't know. I try so hard not to spend money on stuff like that now, you know what I mean? But at the same time, so I was kind of thinking, like, I was actually kind of a little let down after he said that, because I had just spent $5 on, between the two drinks, between this one and the other one, I had just spent $5. So every penny counts for me, you know what I mean? So I was a little let down to hear that. And I was like, really? Like, I'd want to think that they would make a difference. But so that's what he said. And I was kind of like, okay, well, we'll see. But that was before I had actually tried the drinks. And now that I've tried them, regardless of what he said, I disagree. I feel like they definitely make a difference for me. And like up until these drinks, like I used to get the powders again years ago, so I can't really remember very well, like if I felt like they made much of a difference years ago. I think years ago I was just more likely to buy into the hype of stuff like that in the media, like, I don't know, like the keto diet or electrolyte, like, I don't know. As time has gone on, though, I'm more and more like distrustful of the media and like things that are advertised, where I'm like, everything is a lie, everything is like, you know, just, yeah, a lie basically. So I'm just very, very doubtful and just distrustful of everything, like more and more the older I get, which I feel like is probably pretty common and pretty normal for most people, or a lot of people probably. I don't know about most people, but probably a lot of people. You know, you just get like jaded and distrustful sometimes, like that just happens in life, I guess, like the older you get maybe. But so yeah, I mean, up until recently, I've just been feeling so crappy that I'm like, all right, whatever, like I'll just give in and just go back to trying these electrolyte drinks just to see if maybe they'll make a difference. But because up until recently it had been years since I had really tried electrolyte stuff like that, I can't remember if they made a difference years ago. I think years ago I was just like, whatever, they taste good. They make water taste more exciting to me, like they make water taste better, so that's good enough for me for now. I don't know. But yeah, with these particular drinks especially though, I like this this Flash IV type compared to like other even other body armor drinks that I've tried, I noticed much more of a difference with these ones. Like usually I would drink the Body Armor Zero Sugar. So like I actually, for the past, I don't know, month or a couple months now, I've had multiple Body Armor Zero Sugars. No, not even just the past few months, because I remember even as far back as last summer, I was having, because I did a video for the Body Armor Zero Sugar Lemon Lime. That was my favorite, or that is my favorite flavor for that particular type of drink. I did a video for that drink last summer. So I've been having the Body Armor Zero Sugar drinks for a while now, for at least a year. And those are supposed to be electrolyte drinks as well. Like they're advertised, like it says on the label that they're electrolyte drinks. But I swear with those, I never really actively noticed that much of a difference, or I never really felt like I did. I mostly was just like trying to tell myself that they were good for me because that's what I've heard through the media. So I don't know. Again, I didn't really like believe it or trust that much, but I still was like trying to like have something healthy for myself, if that makes sense. Like also those ones are less expensive usually where I am. So, and I just like the way they taste and they're just more exciting than water to me. So, but with these ones, even though they're more expensive, that's fine, I guess. Not fine, but whatever, because with these ones, I actively notice much more of a difference. So I just like to say that. I can't shut up about these drinks. So, but that's because they seem really good so far. So it'll forever, apparently it's just going to forever be a mystery to me, like what happened with that group of people from the RV. But I honestly, like, it's not even shame on me for not getting my ass in there soon enough, like shortly enough after they got here. It's shame on them for not staying long enough. Like who brings an entire RV full of people to a strip club this early especially and stays for like what, an hour or less? Like come on, like what's the point? Like that makes absolutely entirely no sense whatsoever. It could have been a great time for all of us. It really could have, but they blew it. Not me. Them. They did it. Anyway, all right, well, I'm gonna wrap this up now. It's 6:39. It was 6:38 right as I started to say that, and then it just clicked over, and now it's 6:39, which means that this video's, well, it means that I've been streaming for over 2 hours, which is ridiculous. What? Well, okay, let's say I've been trying to stream for over 2 hours. Whether or not I actually have been, or whether or not this video actually posts, time will tell possibly. As of right now, I have no idea. But if that is the case, if people have been able to watch this, then thank you for watching. Let's just take a quick peek. Uh-oh, that's not good. It said, when I peeked under the rubber band at the top of my screen earlier to check the timestamp and the viewer count, it said 7 viewers earlier, and now it says 2, so I don't like the number 2. It's better, it's slightly better than 1, but not really. Not by much, obviously, so. I've had many videos mess up with 2 viewers too, so yeah, 1 is the worst, but 2 is not much better. I hate doing lives. I've done so many lives at this point, I feel like way more live videos than regular videos, and I hate doing lives. I literally only do them for the storage issue on my phone because I'm trying to use, regular videos use storage and live videos don't, apparently, so that's my only reason. So anyway, I don't know, but yeah, well, I had fun. Regardless, I had fun out here today, so honestly probably more fun than I would have had in there, although I'll never know. I'll never know. I can only wonder. I can only imagine. It was 6:40, now it's 6:41. Oh, and I hate the number 1. I'm gonna wrap this up. It's really cold in here. My phone has barely any battery left, but again, I'm super happy that I was able to come on here and try to do this with you guys today. Oh gosh, pretty bloated, and I really have to pee, but so last week I was not able to get my ass out the door of the apartment that I stay at for Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. I was pretty bad about that. So this week I'm gonna try to be a little better. With that being said, I am supposed to get my period like any day. So, but you know what I've noticed with my period? I usually feel much worse like the week before it starts. Whereas when it gets a little closer, and then when it actually starts, for some reason it's not quite as bad. Other than when it actually starts, the cramping is obviously really bad. Like that part sucks. But I don't like that I can deal with pretty well for the most part. I mean, it still sucks obviously, but the real main thing for me that I struggle with the most with that is the exhaustion. Because the exhaustion, I just don't know how to push past that. I don't know how to overcome it. You know what I mean? Like, or sometimes I can kind of try to, but a lot of the time it's to the point where I just can't anymore. So that was definitely the case last week. And I've noticed a lot lately that that's usually the case like the week leading up, like the PMS period or the PMS part of that, like just the week leading up to it. Whereas like a few days before and then when it actually starts, yeah, the cramps suck, but as far as my energy levels, like they're better. But then again, maybe it's just the drink or the drinks plural that I've had now, because I do definitely notice a difference with these. So I love these, you guys. I just love these. 10 stars. Oh, should I post? Maybe I can try to get a thumbnail with this because this is a drink review after all. So yes, this is an excellent drink review, or it could be. Hopefully it will be. Me trying to get a thumbnail with the label reading backwards. Oh my gosh. RIP to the RV. To that boring group of people that just did jack diddly squat, apparently. Or maybe they were living it up in there for the brief, what, half hour that they were in there? Like, what? Makes no sense whatsoever. Nothing is real. Like, that makes no sense. All right. I was gonna say, hopefully, I was starting to say, hopefully, I'll be able to come back out, one of the upcoming days that I have off from the club, after this. I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to try to come out Friday, because then I can have a day off tomorrow, come out Friday, then have another day off for Saturday, and then Sunday I'll start my work week. I didn't work this Sunday, but I normally do try to work on Sundays. So I think out of Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for this week, my best day to go out would probably be Friday, depending on the weather. I'm pretty sure this Friday is supposed to be sunny, and we're supposed to have some sun, I'm pretty sure. So that would be great. I'm definitely gonna try to come back out though pretty soon and do another video with you guys. I'd really like to be able to do that. So I'm gonna try for it. Hopefully I can make it happen. Until then, I'm gonna peace out for now. And have a great rest of the evening and night. Bye for now, guys. Thanks for watching. 149 minutes. Wow. You know I want that round number, so what else can I say for the next 50 seconds? I could try to get another thumbnail. Or I could try harder to get a thumbnail. Okay. All right. All right. hear something back there? Is there somebody talking back there? I can hear a voice sound, the sound of a voice coming from somewhere back there. I don't see anyone. Like, what is that? Oh, okay, there's like a car with lights on, so somebody must be back there doing something. I don't know, but there's like a whole other parking lot back there, by the way. Okay. All right, it's 150 minutes. So not that it matters, because after my videos process, the timestamp almost always says something quite different than what it says like when I'm doing the video. But anyways, I am pretty weird about numbers, which, yeah, is a thing for me that I should probably try to work on as well. All right, well, thanks for watching. Bye for now, guys. Till next time, hopefully soon.